Hey guys, welcome back to Evolve or Die. Today's video is going to be basically about a lot of the partnerships and sponsorships that we've seen this past year in the crypto space. And what's more important to me than short-term price action and short-term run-ups and like short-term catalyst events that are going to, temporarily cause a price spike, those are not really going to be the focus of this channel. We are in this marathon for the long-term growth, for the mass adoption, and for the the gradual then sudden changes that we're going to see within our lifetimes. So that's much more important to me than, temporary price action is the adoption and the implementation and the use cases that we're seeing for a lot of cryptocurrencies. And yeah, so aside from banks and certain large corporations buying Bitcoin by the billions, Michael Saylor, as well as Elon Musk, aside from the institutional buy-ins, we did have a lot of partnerships that we saw at the beginning of this year. We saw Ethereum and Reddit teaming up. Essentially, the goal is to create a scaling solution for the Ethereum blockchain that is going to be used for Reddit's community points and the distribution amongst its 430 million monthly users. So essentially Reddit's point system, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but their point system pretty much incentivizes the circulation of quality content. But like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that here. Reddit has pretty extensive frequently asked questions. You can check that out. I'll leave a link down below. And we had Visa, Circle, Crypto.com, and Anchorage at the beginning of this year. This is huge because this essentially is making it possible for a lot of Crypto.com users to pay for goods and services directly using USDC through their Crypto.com Visa debit card. And all of these USDC transactions will be settled on the Ethereum blockchain with the help of Anchorage Digital Bank. And this is a really huge interwoven partnership because, well, guys, Visa has over 3 billion cards in circulation. That is almost equivalent to half of the population. The exposure that's gonna follow the adoption by a global conglomerate like Visa, that's gonna be huge. And like I said, the help of Anchorage Bank is gonna be settling the transaction. So US Anchorage Bank is the first digital bank, the first crypto bank that was able to receive a banking license in the US. So that's a pretty big deal, guys, in terms of adoption. And remember, we're here evolving. We're not dying. We evolve or die here. And seeing this mass adoption, seeing all of these institutions and corporate behemoths now seeing the future of crypto and now playing an active role to propel it forward, it's huge, guys. The next crypto to private sector partnership that we had NCR, the National Cash Register, as well as New York Digital Investor Group, NYDIG. And this partnership essentially is making it possible for many Americans to be able to send cryptocurrency directly from their bank. And Cointelegraph reported on this just a few weeks ago that NYDIG and NCR have actually made it possible throughout the US 650 banks will now have access to Bitcoin and be able to send Bitcoin directly from their bank accounts. So it's really nice to see that the banks and the institutions now see that cryptocurrency is a demand from customers. It is an incentive if they want to keep people's funds within their establishment, if they don't want to see, you know, the mass exodus that a lot of banks have been seeing away from cash reserves, away from savings into crypto. So banks are finally realizing, you know, hey, if I don't want to see my client's entire, you know, portfolio exiting, if I don't want to see a mass exodus of accounts and money flowing away from this institution, you know, we need to give the customers what they want. And the customers want Bitcoin. The customers want crypto. So that's what we're seeing here, guys. The adoption and the realization, even if most of the populace hasn't realized it yet, the institutions and the corporations are finally realizing that essentially if they want to continue making money, they're going to have to facilitate the adoption of cryptocurrency. So this is really exciting, you guys. And remember, this is also really huge because NCR, National Cash Reserve, is the largest developer of point of sale software in the world. So they own over 800,000 ATMs globally. So again, guys, this comes down to like exposure and the implementation, and yeah, having, you know, Visa, over 3 billion users for Visa. NCR owns over 800,000 ATMs, guys, and we're seeing in little pockets around the world different ATMs that are compatible with Bitcoin transactions. So this is really exciting to be alive right now and to be a part of the evolving herd and be a part of the evolutionary progress that we're seeing, you know, it moving into a world of decentralized finance. So this is really exciting. The next pretty big partnership that we had this year was between the Ukrainian government and Stellar, and the goal of this partnership essentially was to develop digital asset infrastructure, i.e. create a central bank currency. That was the goal of this partnership. And I'm not going to go too much into detail about this one because it is still a work in progress. However, again, that exposure. And one of my personal favorites, Cardano and the Ethiopian government did come to an agreement with the IOHK parent company of Cardano. And essentially the goal of this partnership with the Ethiopian government is to create a digital identity system for millions of teachers and students within Ethiopia, and just kind of create that infrastructure for monitoring grades and academic progress. Hey guys, sorry about that. Lost my train of thought there for a moment. But yeah, we're seeing adoption and we're seeing implementation, and this is really exciting for the future. This is just furthering the bullish case for cryptocurrency. And the next pretty important partnership that we had this year, just a few weeks ago, El Salvador did partner with Strike in order to make Bitcoin a legal tender. So that's very exciting, guys. Crypto.com has nailed a lot of sponsorships, actually. I see a lot of advertisements for them now. They landed a sponsorship by the Canadian hockey team in March, and this is pretty exciting because we know that Canada was also the first country to implement Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So this is really exciting, guys. They're a little bit ahead of us on the adoption front, but we're catching up, guys, slowly but surely. Red Bull is sponsoring Tezos. We're going to be seeing Red Bull NFTs here very shortly on the Tezos blockchain. We are already seeing Tezos advertisements on Red Bull vehicles, as well as other advertising platforms as well. And another exciting sponsorship that Crypto.com just landed was with UFC. It is, I believe, a $175 million contract over the span of 10 years. And guys, we're going to be seeing a lot of sports NFTs on Crypto.com's forum, just because of all of the partnerships that they were able to land. And I do think that they have a few partnerships with some MLB teams as well. I'll have to look into that a little more. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, we are much more concerned about the long-term growth and the long-term adoption and what that is going to mean for the intrinsic value that it's going to create, because the intrinsic value hasn't been established yet. There's still too much skepticism and there's too much resistance and misunderstanding surrounding the space in general. So we're not going to see the intrinsic value just yet. That's why I don't really concern myself with the day-to-day or even week-to-week price movements. I keep much more informed and I keep much more up to date about, regulatory filings. What is the SEC saying? Are they delisting any coins for not meeting, the regulatory guidelines? What's the founding team doing? Are they separating? Or, keeping up with the adoption? What institutions are purchasing crypto? What, trusts are adding cryptocurrency to their funds? Things like that, guys, are really, really going to paint the future for being able to, make profits in the long term. Keeping up with the regulatory filings and keeping up with the adoption and what's going on globally, like what is the sentiment surrounding the space? What is the hash rate like now that China, has forbidden mining? So these are really the things that we're going to be looking at much more in terms of growth and adoption and implementation, not so much, day-to-day price action or price movement, because it doesn't matter just yet, because the space is so volatile right now. And we know that with one article about China shutting down Bitcoin miners, one article, it will tank the whole market. So we don't get concerned with the prices. We average down and we're always adding to our portfolio on the dips, guys. And crypto is a long hold. Like all of the crypto projects that I'm holding, Cardano, Harmony One, VeChain, guys, Decentralized, Ethereum, all of the projects that I'm holding, it's for the long term. And we're going to see that gradual growth. We're going to see the implementation. We're going to see the adoption. It's going to be gradually, then suddenly. Like, we're literally going to blink and everything in our day-to-day lives is going to be operating on a blockchain ledger. And yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. That's pretty much sums up the video. We did talk about a market correction in the stock market last week. I do think this week is the beginning of the correction. We've seen some pretty deep dips this morning, pre-market. And yeah, guys, we talked about this correction. I do think that we're going to see a cycle into a hyperinflationary period as the housing market, the bubble just gets bigger and bigger, and the margin that's being leveraged amongst institutions is higher than it's ever been, ever. Should be worried about that. But anyways, guys, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Keep evolving, guys, and leave your favorite crypto projects down in the space below, in the description below. And I'll leave a link to my NFT content if you guys want to check out my store. Keep evolving, guys. And yeah, we're just here. We're here for the adoption, and we're here for the long haul. We're here for the marathon. Okay, guys.